Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope you're all well. Rainy day in New York. As you can see from the window over here, a little rain. Hashem. Okay, let's get started. Today's shir is Lili Nishmas Aaron Nachman Simcha Cohen in Hashem Shem Aliyah. The four Shlema for Yisrael Baruch Aliyah, Rachel Baspasal Zalda, Rachel Aliyana Vasir Bracha, Aaron Mishka Marisha, Chai Vasir Bela, four Shlema Basoch Shar, Chali Yisrael. And Shefer Bracha Baratzlacha Tzvinach and Bracha Rachalea, and Zivik Bekaru for Shmuel David ben Hinda Miriam and Tzvi ben Chana. Okay, we are on Masechah Shevuos Perek Beis Mishnah Aleph. It's a short Perek today. Okay, so we started off the Masechah yesterday talking about the different types of the four different categories of things that were two that are really four. Okay, and yesterday we discussed the different types of Shevuos. Right, we said Shevuos Shtaim Shehem Arba, and the second one on the list was Yediyas Atuma Shtaim Shehem Arba. So we're going to talk about that today. Yediyas, so Mishnah Perek Beis Mishnah Aleph Yediyas Atuma Shtaim Shehem Arba. There are two types of awareness of Tumah that are in reality four, meaning that there are four ways which a tummy person can become chayiv to bring the korban olav yored, which is a variable chatas korban, for unintentionally being violating the kedusha of the Beis Hamikdash and its holy objects. Two of them are said explicitly in the Torah, as we in Vayikra, and two are not. So we're going to talk about these now. Nitma v'yada. Person became tummy and was aware of it. V'ne'alama mimena atuma, and he forgot that, and he then forgot that this, but remembered that the food he was eating was holy. Ne'ala mimenu kodesh. Zachar Satuma, or that the food that he was eating was kadosh, but he remembered his state of tuma. Na'amu mimanu zevazeh, or he forgot both this and that, means both that his state of tuma and the kedusha of the food. V'achal as a kadosh lo yada, and he ate the holy food. I was not aware of his kedusha or his tumah or both. And after he ate, he became aware that he had sinned by eating the kodesh, the holy food, while tummy. So such a person is chayav to bring the variable chatas korban. Is where he forgot the tumah, but remembered where he forgot the tumah, but remembered the food's kedusha is stated explicitly in the Torah. And the case where he forgot that the food was holy, but remembered the tumah, but remembered. A person is chayav to bring the korban olav yored. I'm sorry, I'm tongue tied today. Deep breath. Let's try this again. Tumah tahara is always a tough topic. Okay, the case where he forgot about the tumah, but remembered that the food had kedusha, that is written in the Torah. Okay, but the case where he forgot that the food was kadosh, but remembered that the tumah was the opposite. That's derived from the pasuk from the Torah. Okay, here we go. Nitma v'yada v'nama mimena tumah. If a person became tamei and was aware of it, and then he forgot, and he then forgot the tumah. The Zachar as Hamikdash, but remembered that the place that he was about to enter was the Beis Hamikdash. And now Mimenu Hamikdash, the Zachar as a tumah, or he forgot that the place where he was about to enter was the Beis Hamikdash, but he remembered his state of tumah. Now Mimenu Sevazeh. Forgot both this and that. I mean, both he forgot both the tumah and the kedusha of the place. And he entered the Beis Hamikdash and was not aware that it was the Beis Hamikdash or that he was tamei or both. And after he left, he became aware that he had sinned by entering the Beis Hamikdash while tamei. Such a person is chayav to bring the carbon, the variable chatas carbon. There's the case where he forgot the tumah, but remember the Beis Hamikdash is clearly a pasuk, and the case where he forgot the Beis Hamikdash, but remember the tumah is learned from that. That was better. Okay, let's move on. Mishnah Beis. Echad hanichnas lazara. A carbon is brought whether someone enters the original part of the main courtyard, which is where the mizbeach stood. Or whether he enters in addition to the main courtyard, being an area that was added to the chutzner at a later time, because the added area is also acquired the kedusha of the Beis Hamikdash. Yeah, because once it's annexed onto the Beis Hamikdash, it's the din of Beis Hamikdash, even if it wasn't built at the original moment. She'ein mosifin al ha'ir al ha'zaros. We cannot make additions to the city of Yerushalayim or to the courtyards of the Beis Hamikdash. Ela ben Melech v'Navi v'Urim v'Tumim over Sanhedrin Shoshivim echad, except with the approval of the king, a prophet, the Urim v'Tumim, and the great Sanhedrin of 71 judges. It was with all their consensus that they were able to expand the Beis Hamikdash and expand Yerushalayim. Ubishtei two doses of this year, and in addition to all that, you also needed 2 loaves of bread from two carbon todas, and with song. They had to sing the capital of Mizmor Shir Chagos David that was sung by the Levium. Okay, so each loaf is carried by a Kohen who marches along with the people around the edge of the area being added, while the Levium sing a Mizmor Shir. Once the march is complete, the additions become Kadosh with the same Kedusha as the original boundaries of Yerushalayim or of the Beis Hamikdash. So how is this march done? Who marches over here? What's the story over here? So the Sanhedrin, the great court, marches in the following manner: that the loaves of the 2 Korban Todas were carried first. I mean, so you're talking about the you have 2 loaves from two Korban Todas, which is a total of 4. They were carried first, and the Sanhedrin walked behind them. It was only the members of the Sanhedrin that had to participate with the consecration ceremony, not the king and not the Levim and not the overture. They had to give their consent, but they had to be present at the consecration. So the Chol Yisrael Achareim and all the Klal Yisrael walked behind the Sanhedrin. They walked this way until they reached the end of the area that they wished to be Mekudesh. Hapanimis Necheles V'Achitzona Nisrefes. After the march is completed, the inner loaf is eaten and the outer one is burned. So the Gemara has a machlokas as to which is the inner loaf, it's the outer loaf. The 2 loaves were carried side by side, so one closer to the new wall that they walked that they walked around is the inner one, and the one further away from the wall is the outer one. So it was 2 loaves, it wasn't 4 loaves. They're carried one behind the other, so that the one closer to the Sanhedrin is the inner one, and the one in the front is the other one. So there's two different machlokas. In any event, one of them was Eden, one of them was not, and that was all taught by Nevi'im. Okay. And any addition to the Zara of the Beis Hamikdash that was not made with all these requirements, meaning the king, Chanavi, the Yom Tumim, and the Great Sanhedrin, and the march, and the loaves of bread, it does not acquire the temple kedusha. It does not acquire the kedusha of Beis Hamikdash. Hanichnas l'sham ein chayv aleh. So therefore, if someone enters there while tamei, he is not chayv to bring a variable chatas for it. It wasn't consecrated, and therefore no harm, no foul. Moving right along. Mishnah Gimel, Nitma Ba'azara, a person became Tameh in the Chatzar of the Beis Hamikdash and knew that he was Tameh. And now, Lama Mimena, Tuma Zachar as a Kaddish, as a Mikdash, and he then forgot the Tuma, but remembered that the place that he was in was the Beis Hamikdash. Now, Mimena Mikdash, Zachar, a Tuma, or he forgot that the place that he was in was the Beis Hamikdash, but remembered his state of Tumah. Ne'elam mimenu zevazeh. Or he forgot both his Tumah and his presence in the Beis Hamikdash. V'ishtachava, and while in a state of forgetfulness, he bowed down in the direction of the Beis Hamikdash. Or sheshar b'chadei ishtachava. Or if he stayed long enough to bow down. Ba'alo baruka, or even if he did not bow or stay at all, but he came out of the Beis Hamikdash by a long way, even though there was a shorter route by which to exit the Beis Hamikdash. Chayiv, in all these cases, he is chayiv to bring a korban for his unintentional sin. Biksar, however, if he exited by the shortest way without bowing or delaying at all, pater, he is pater for bringing the korban. It's not obligated to bring the korban. Zu he mitzvahs aseh shemikdash she'ein chayivin aleha is the halacha requiring a person who became tamei in the Beis Hamikdash to leave immediately is the mitzvahs aseh concerning the Beis Hamikdash primarily of he shall send out of the camp everyone who is tamei. That comes from Parshas Naso, I believe. So we're going to talk. It's also mentioned in the Mishnayos in Hurrius, which is coming up in a few weeks, for which the Sanhedrin is not chayav to bring a special chatas, meaning that if the Sanhedrin mistakenly ruled that one who became tamei in the Beis Hamikdash does not have to leave by the shortest route, they are not chayav to bring a special chatas, even when the majority of the nation followed their ruling. Okay, Mishnah Daled. What is the part? And what is the mitzvah aseh? What's the positive commandment concerning a nida for which the Sanhedrin are chayav to bring the special chatas? It applies in the following case: if someone was having bia with a woman who was tahor, she was not a nida. A husband with his wife, she's not a nida. She said to him in the middle, "I have become tamei. I'm a nida." Oh, Feirash biyad, and he immediately withdrew from her while still in a state of arousal. Chayav he is chayav to bring a korban. If nesh, it's yaso, ano lo kiv yaso, because his pirush from her, his removal from her, is as pleasurable for him his as his entry. He must wait till he's no longer aroused and the aver subsides, and then he can withdraw. So a Sanhedrin who mistakenly rules that a man in this situation should withdraw immediately is higher to bring a special chatas, which was done in error. Rabbi Mishnah Hay, last one for today. Rabbi Lezer says Hasheres v'nelam. It matters that the pasuk that says that if a person touches anything that's tamei, whether the carcass or the carcass of a sheretz, and it was forgotten by him, the whole pasuk reads: "O nefesh asher tiga b'chol davar tamei, o b'nivas chayev tamei, o b'nivas behemoth tamei, o b'nivas sheretz tamei v'nelam imenu hu tamei v'ashem." If a person touches anything that is tamei, whether the carcass of a wild animal that is tamei, or the carcass of a domestic animal that is tamei, or the carcass of a sheretz that is tamei, and it was forgotten by him, and he was tamei, and he became guilty through entering the Beis Hamikdash or eating a korban. So Rabbi Lezer says, Al helam sheretz chayev ve'enu chayev al helam mikdash. That teaches that a person is chayev to bring the korban only for forgetting the sheretz, forgetting the source of tumah, and then entering the Beis Hamikdash. But he's not chayev to bring a korban for forgetting the place that he was entering was the Beis Hamikdash, while remembering that he was tummy. He has nothing to do with that. Rabbi Kiva says, that the pasuk says above, and it was forgotten by him, and he was tamei. So al helam tuma chayev and chayev al helam mitash. This teaches that a person is chayev to bring the korban only for forgetting the tuma and then enter the Beis Hamikdash, but he's not chayev to bring a korban for forgetting that the place he was entering was the Beis Hamikdash, while remembering that he was tamei. Rabbi Shmuel says that ne'elam shtei pa'amim. The Torah says that, and it was forgotten from him. It was forgotten from him. That the Torah says this phrase 2 times. The chayiv al helam tumah al helam mikdash, to be chayiv a person to bring the korban both for forgetting the tumah and forgetting the Beis Hamikdash. It's interesting how we're learning all these prakim like right after, between Tu B'Av and Rosh Hashanah. It's very, very cool. Okay, that's all for today. We'll continue tomorrow with Perek Gimel. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining us.